Good evening, all. Before we get into Gelvin Valley, I wanted to do just a little bit of modding. I know I've had a terrible time in this whole series trying to avoid traffic and getting pushed about by it, ending up in the ditches and so forth. I think I'd probably end up in the ditch well enough on my own, let alone having to deal with traffic. So I wanted to try something. I did this in another map, and you see there sitting on the road, there's this trigger, and oh, this other map is extremely bloated, so it's going to take a little time. You'll see it calls up a script in here, and you can't read it all. It says traffic fix. I am going to export the selection with files. I want to take this trigger and I want to send it into the Gelvin Valley map. So I'm just going to call this the traffic fix trigger, and now we need to go find it. Believe it being here. Yep. So we're gonna just put it. Where should we put it? Maybe in here. We'll just stick it in the regular one. It's an i3D file. We'll record it right here. So we'll let it do that. Let's switch over to the Gelvin Valley map. And basically what this is it's a trigger you put on the roads, and the first car that goes through it, the script that underlies it is going to detect it, and it's going to do things to every car that is on the spline. So I need to find, oh, and I know there's multiple splines, so I'm not sure where the best place to put it would be, but maybe at the major junction here. I'll just put it down. So I'm going to import it, and it should land, yep, right on the one that we have. That's going to drag it into the map, and it'll put it at the bottom. And we will just go Control B. We'll stick it, say, right here. And hopefully we can see it here soon. Well, I thought we could see it. I'll put it way up there. I'm not sure why. Let me get down closer. I'll go Control B. Let's see if we can put it right on the road. Wow. Oh, there it is. It still doesn't like sitting on the road. There must be some other thing that's causing it to not sit on the road. Okay, now I know it's on the road. Close, so I'm going to pull it over here. We'll stick it in the lane. Hopefully the spline runs right through here. And the map author has things kind of, well, let's just say it isn't exactly organized. Oh, that was a stroke of luck. So we have the splines. There's going to be a bunch of them. So I don't know. Yeah, one of these, I'm pretty sure I've seen cars come through here. One of them goes there. So I'm pretty sure it's going to come through here. So I think we're okay leaving it there. And one of the things you'll notice on here when I call it back up is it should still have, yep, it still has a traffic fix. This is going to call up a script to do stuff to any vehicle that happens to enter into this particular trigger. So now that I have that, let me save it in the map. I want to go back over to this other map, and let's see. Yeah, this is the one I'm pulling it from. I want to grab it out of the scripts. It's called Traffic Fix. So this is the other important part we need. Now we'll go put it in, where's Gelvin Valley? Gelvin Valley has its own scripts. We'll dump it in there. And now we need to call it when the map is loaded. So I'm going to open the mod desk file. Let me see here. No, keep it in the, okay, here it is right here. So I want to call it where the scripts are called, which is right here. So source file, file name, then we're going to put the file name in there. That's Lua. Okay, but we need to make sure we have the directory correct because it's very exact. So I believe that's where we put it. Now we'll save that. Let me look. Actually, let me close this down because we don't need that. Hopefully it'll disappear. This is still saving, probably because my computer is so probably because I don't have a very fast computer. It's still thinking about this. Sometimes when you get a map that has a lot of objects in it, kind of like the map I was just in, has a lot of objects. It's not even wanting to close it, and I asked it to do that. Um, it'll just take a little bit here, but at least we saved the script. We put that in the map. We put it in the mod description file so it gets called. And the only next thing to do would be to call it up in game as soon as it quits thinking. Aha, there we go. And it dumped the other one, so hopefully we'll have enough resources to crank her up. Let me get the game going and get into this episode. What we did was pretty quick, pretty simple, but there was a whole lot of horsing around and work I did on it over the course of a couple days to try to get this to work, and I know it works. It works in the other map. The question is, will it work in all cases and all that kind of thing? And so, well, we shall see. I don't even have the script up anymore, but it's pretty hard, at least it is for me. There's all kinds of things in the Lua scripting world that you can print out to try to get clues as to where certain things are hiding in the game engine. I say hiding, but I mean it's where data is stored. And so you can print tables that help you see where some of those things are, but I couldn't find it for the vehicles, so I kind of have to come at it a little bit different way, namely by having those vehicles enter a trigger so I can see kind of where they're stored. Let me make sure it isn't popping any errors. No, I don't think it is. So, just for kicks, let me go down here. Look both ways. Turn, 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 turn. Do I hear a turn? Let me, oh, there, he came down that way. Let me zip up here a little bit. I don't know how long we have to wait for a car. Actually, it's going to be somebody coming from this way, right? Aha, we have someone coming. I see a car coming. So, if is saved, well, we should see, aha, there's our little box, our little trigger. Let me go down here to road level. There it is. So, presumably, this car that is coming is going to go right through it. And, come on, car. Is he going to line up? Yeah, go right through it. There you go, baby. Okay, now, what I'm kind of curious to see, if I can get rid of all these marks, it should have just done some modifications to the traffic. Only I don't know if it did. So, maybe the only right thing to do is to actually test it. So maybe I'm not going to save what we're doing because, well, let's just go find a car. I can burn a little fuel here. But the goal is, do you remember in Farm Sim 13 and 11, maybe before then too, I don't recall, but the cars, you could really beat them all over the road if you wanted to. They obviously were on a spline of some kind. They had a set path that they traveled, but you could ram them, you could knock them out of your way, you could do all these things to it, and and mess with them. They really didn't hinder you from doing anything. Let's see, is there any coming from this way? Aha. All right, we're gonna try this. Well, in 15, they started putting them. Look at that, we did it. Okay, it worked. All of these we should be able to drive through. Boom. Let's see if we can drive through this one. Nice. I like. 0 damage. Okay, we're going to call that mission accomplished. Because as you saw, I now just I can run right through these vehicles, but we still have the ambiance of traffic on the map, but without the pain of having them knock us around or that kind of thing. Oh! Now, is that cheating? Maybe. I don't know. Some people just turn the traffic off. I've chosen to leave it on. Maybe it is a little bit cheating. I'll probably do a little better on my damage because I won't be hitting these cars anymore. I'll just be driving right through them. At least if it holds. See the Giants, when they publish their game, they give you lots of clues and information on how to mod, so they publish some of their Lewis scripts, but they don't publish all of them. And, they only give you partial information on how some of this works. So, one thing I don't know, for example, is just how often does the traffic reset itself? Well, if the traffic resets itself, I guess it means it'll go through the trigger again, and the script can kind of, well, make it so you can drive through. Whoop! What am I doing here? So anyway, I just wanted to show that. I'm sorry that took like half of the episode. I don't know if that's of interest to anybody or not, but I felt kind of beat up by the traffic on here, so I was kind of glad to see it tamed a little bit. Um, so that's kind of what I did. Okay, there's a reminder of, I don't know why it does that. It says this roller ends in 4 minutes, and then in the other one it tells me I have a whole hour left. Well, whatever. Whatever. Trying to remember, was this one, was I just going round and round? It's been a little while since I've recorded an episode. Maybe I'll just continue going round and round. I think we are close to being done with our field rolling. So we're getting close to going through replanting. Let me get that one. Oh, I love that little tank. Boom, 2 in a row. So satisfying. Actually, I guess we can't plant until we come out here and pick up the rocks. But the big ones anyways, the ones we're not able to flatten into the ground with our mod here. That looks like one that was missed. I wonder why I missed it. Unless it's bigger. Oh, that may be it. Yeah, I guess it's bigger than what I thought it was. So, alrighty. Well, and I'm much pleased with how well this roller goes. I know we did a little bit of work on that previously. Let me try to get, it bogs down when it pulls a rock. That's kind of cool. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but there's something about this game that turns a person, well, at least this person, into a perpetual tinkerer. It's kind of like the modification we just made to the map here by putting that little trigger in and impacting traffic. Well, I mean, that's something the original mapper didn't intend, and now I've I've altered his map. So, but it just seems like I'm doing this all the time. I know I heard from a friend who, after seeing a recent version of all this hoopla and trouble, ooh, looks like I got rid of that rock, all the trouble I was having, back on field 38, where my combine, just wanted to head for the fence, stuck the header through, and then I wasn't able to back out. So even he's told me, he says, well, why don't you fix the fences, basically in so many words so that doesn't happen. And that is something I think probably at some point I'll try to do. One part of me wants to just take all the collisions off, but if I do that, then that means a combine will probably just keep on going and end up in the ditch, and I'll have a worse problem first thing. But I don't know, having to reset, that's pretty much about the worst of it that it's going to be. Feels like it's been a little while since I've recorded an episode. Oh, it's been at least a week, maybe a week and a half. I don't know how other YouTubers do it. I seem to go kind of in spurts in the recording. And then when you upload them, it takes so miserable long to wait on the internet. I know I've got slow internet here. There goes another rock. And I think what I need to start doing, and I'm not skilled at it, but I need to learn how to edit videos. I know my friend Atomic has encouraged me to do that. There are some faux pas I've committed, some things I've done wrong, and he's gently trying to encourage me to do it the right way. And what it is it just takes so much time, and so I know when I go in spurts recording these, and then I have to make a whole bunch of thumbnails so they appear on the internet. It just takes time. I suppose it's like any endeavor that you do in life. If you want to try to do it kind of right, it's going to take time. So, and I shouldn't complain, huh? This is all a hobby, and by the way, this is my 60th episode on this map. I can't believe I've done so many on this map. I would have thought, well, I don't know what I thought. Suffice it to say, this is the 60th birthday of episodes, if you will. I wonder if there's a record out there for any of the people that have YouTubed Farming Simulator, if there's a record on the number of episodes that someone has done on a single map. And maybe it depends. Maybe a number of episodes is kind of a misnomer. Maybe the real question is how much total time, if they put into it. One series I'm watching at the moment, as I have time, is my friend Reefy 1952, his Old Ridge Farm series. I know it's well over 100 episodes. If it's probably almost 200 episodes. Maybe when he hears it, as he'll comment. I don't have the number in front of me. I almost wonder if it's like 199 episodes. And I'm probably on, let's see, I don't even remember which one I'm on at the moment. 16, 17, somewhere in there. So I got a long ways to go. And I just enjoy listening to him and hearing whatever ideas he has into telling a story. And that's something I haven't tried yet. I'm considering it, but it's kind of intimidating to think about, in terms of telling a story. It's one thing to kind of come in here and just talk about whatever comes to mind, kind of like Atomic calls it. He has a new series out called Chewin' the Fat. Well, that has uh, that has its pluses and minuses. I guess it assumes that someone has a gift of the gab, and I really don't. So even a even a series like this has for a introverted accountant kind of like me, that's kind of a hard ask as it is, let alone trying to figure out a story idea or what have you. So maybe I'll just keep listening to Reefy, and maybe by listening to him, I'll pick up some good ideas and see where things go. Oh, the outer round is the toughest. Good thing this thing isn't as heavy as it used to be, or I'd never be making the corner. But on the other hand, if it was heavier, maybe it wouldn't. It's kind of a fine. Oh, look at that! You're sliding off the hill. It's kind of a fine art to know where to set the weight on these things. More weight is more stability. Because I think I've mentioned this before. I mean, there's been some times when, especially on a slope, and it doesn't take much of a slope, when you try to run a conventional plow a moldboard plow over a slope, I've had it before where it just swings from the back of a tractor, kind of like a pendulum. And it's pretty frustrating. You got the thing lowered, you're trying to take it over a slope, and it just doesn't do, what you need it to do. But some of that might be due to weight. Maybe there's other factors too. I really don't know. Trying to jam up in this corner. And maybe what I really need to do on solving my fence problem is just add a little extra area kind of around the field. Instead of farming fence post to fence post, maybe I just need to give myself a little more space, and maybe the combine would have less affinity for the fence. I don't know. Yeah, there was one time, I can't remember if I put it on the video, but yeah, I got caught in the fence and I had to kind of come up that dry wash. I don't even remember now if that was on the video or not. But one of the extra challenges of farming, I suppose. So I'm not sure how many episodes to turn this in. Part of me wonders if maybe if I get the new crop planted, maybe fertilized, then maybe then I need to take a pause and maybe just ask the question. I mean, I don't know if I have totally bored people bonkers. I mean, not that many listen to this series anyhow. Who am I kidding myself? But I know there's a few that listen to it. I just still really enjoy this map, and I don't know, I may just continue playing on it in my private time to get over the hump, I see that negative number up there staring me in the face, and I know eventually, given enough time, that, or at least that's how it's always been. Given enough time, you can overcome that and start making some decent money. But if there ever was a map where it took more time than normal to do it, it seems like it's this one. It's just brutal. I wonder if Reefy 1952, did you ever play this map? I know occasionally you listen to this. I don't know if you'll hear this one or not. I'd be kind of curious if you ever saw this map back when it was released on FSUK. I think Reefy spent more time at PCSGE. Um, I spent a little time at PCSGE, thinking back on those forums. And the FSUK closed, when was that? It seems like it was just a year or two ago. FS19, I think, had come out, but it wasn't much long after FS19 came out that Russ over at FSU UK closed the doors. For a while, he had kind of a separate site that kind of a transition to. It never was the same, I feel, as what they had. But BCSG was out there too, and it seemed like the group of people there was, oh, how do you put it? I don't want to call anybody older, so we'll just say they tended to be people of more experience, more maturity, and I really like the atmosphere there too. I think I did release a mod at PCSG as one I'd already, given to FSU UK, but I also put it on there, and so, whoop, that little rock doesn't want to go into there. Got it. So when FSUK went down, I was kind of hoping to continue on the forums over at PCSG, because FSUK for quite a while was kind of my forum home, if you will, for farming sim stuff. But right about that time, and Reefy can tell the story better than me because he was there, it was just bizarre. Whoever started the PCSG forum for whatever reason wasn't able to continue. Uh, Maybe they lost interest. I really don't know those details. But they either sold the site or they gave it to someone else who said they had every intention of continuing it. And so under new ownership or management or whatever, it was on the air for a brief period of time, and then all of a sudden it up and disappeared. It was gone for I don't know how long. You try to get into the site and it just wasn't available. And then I think it briefly came back. There was apologies or whatever from the new owner. And briefly there one more time, if I recall correctly, and then gone. Just gone. And to my knowledge, I don't think it's ever come back. And it's just a puzzle to me as to what happened to it. I mean, if you say you're gonna take on a site and run it, I mean it. I don't know why you would just say that and then shutter the thing. So I don't know. I may be old-fashioned. I really liked the forum environment, but I know there's people that have said or told me that it was kind of old-fashioned, kind of old technology, if you will. But I don't know. At that time, most people seem to be kind of moving over to Discord and some of those kinds of things. But at the end of the day, I mean, it just seems to me like it's the same old, same old. I mean, it's people uh, sharing stuff. Whether it's on a web forum, a post, or on Facebook. Whatever it is, it seems like it's the same old, same old. But I know a lot of people, maybe they do their stuff on Facebook because they want 100% control, and they don't like the forum environment because it has moderators, it has rules, it has all these things. And FSUK had a very rigorous um, testing process for mods and what have you. So, maybe people would start up their own because they didn't want to subject themselves to that. I don't know. I always found that stuff quite helpful. I appreciated people testing my mods and what have you. So, and plus, I liked having stuff all in the same spot. Meaning, now with the proliferation of Facebook and all these other mod sites out there, a good lot of them, which are, oh, what do you call them? They don't care about the mods. They just want to make a little money with people click and download with ads and all that jazz. Um, but it's nice to have everything all in one spot if you can. All the modders and all the people come to one central location. Now you got to troll over all the internet just to go find stuff, and Facebook with multiple accounts, and I can't keep track of everything. But that's okay. I guess the world's big enough, and you get enough odds to make you happy. Let me see. Hey, am I done? I think I have finished. I've already done that field. I'm pretty sure I went up the hill, right? Yep, that's done. All right, we head back to the farm here. We'll take this here, and I think I can turn these back. And what do you know? It's kind of right at the tail end of a half an hour of recording anyhow. Oh, he's dragging it. No wonder he's bogging down. There we go. I guess I don't need to take it all the way back to the dealership. I'll just take it to the barnyard here. Call the episode. Now, gotta remember to turn over the lease. I think this will do it. I saw something flash up a little bit earlier. It said I had more than one lease. You can go to garage. There it is. Return vehicle. Done. Well, like I say, that's half an hour. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate anybody that's willing to subject themselves to my silliness for any period of time. So thanks for stopping by and listening. Hope you have a wonderful day, whatever you're doing, and goodbye for now.